Welcome. In front of me I have the Poco C40, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and the tricks you can do on this phone. So, to get started, I'm going to begin with something simple, which is the dark mode, found under the settings and by going into the display section. Now we do have the switch from light and dark, which possibly you can change or right at the setup of the device. But there is another option here that isn't actually accessible throughout the setup, which is the scheduled dark mode. Now here, once enabled, there we go, you can have it set so it changes automatically from light to dark mode based on sunset to sunrise, or custom, which will allow you to set a start and end time, or start and switch time, I guess. So you can choose whichever one you want. I personally do like the auto switch. This way you can have it set to light mode during the daytime, which personally might be just a minority here, but I don't know. Personally for me, it is a better alternative to have a display in light mode during the sunlight, like daytime when it's bright. And during the nighttime, obviously I prefer to have it in dark mode just because it's a little bit easier on the eyes. So this basically allows me to do so. Now going back, I'm going to actually change it back to light mode, just because I think on the camera it looks a little bit better and clear. I can move on now to the next one, which is the color scheme of the display, which is also under the display section. Once you tap on it, you have a couple different options. So we have the vivid mode, saturated, or standard. Now on the camera, there will be very little difference between these two, and also in person there is a very little difference between those two. I genuinely cannot even spot. There is a little bit of a shift in the white color, but it's barely noticeable. So yeah, vivid and saturated are basically almost the same thing, but when it comes down to standard one, that's where, as you can see, things start to change. And here comes your kind of preference. Which one do you prefer more? Do you prefer the standard one, which just kind of desaturates the image a little bit and adds more yellowish color? So especially you can see it in the white colors, and when you switch between, you see that white becomes more bluish, while in standard it becomes more yellowish, the white just background. So you can choose whichever one you want, and obviously here you have a different color, like almost a color palette, but you can choose which one do you think looks more appealing to you. Personally, I do kind of think that the saturated level here is okay. On Samsung's, as an example, the saturated or vivid that they use is absolutely ridiculous. It's so overdone that it's just hilarious. But here, it's okay. But obviously, if you want to have more of a, what I would consider like a paper kind of look, like a book as an example, standard does achieve that a little bit better without making the actual like entire image just look absolutely yellow as some of the reading modes do. So this might be something that you want to maybe utilize. Anyway, moving on to the next thing, it's going to be the home screen personalization section. So in the settings, we do have somewhere home screen. I can find it quickly. Oh, there we go, home screen. And we have a bunch of things that we can personalize right here. Now, one thing that I found interesting was the backgrounds right here. So you can change it to be permanently light, dark, or based on system, which basically will define if it's in light or dark mode. But additionally, this is your up tray and notifications. But additionally, you can also add transparency to it, as you can see. So I do kind of feel like this one looks kind of nice when it's dark and semi-transparent. Looks quite neat. Obviously, you can also see how it looks like in different sections. So notifications, settings, and just the app tray. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of transparency right here. For some reason it closes it, so I'm gonna go back, because we have a couple additional things that I want to touch upon, which is inclusion of, as an example, icon pack. Now right here we only have system, which is the default ones, but you can download obviously more from Play Store, and once you do, they will be visible right here and you can change them on the go, which is a really nice inclusion, considering not every launcher, the default launcher that comes with the phone, supports customizing your icons. And I'm talking about, again, phones that cost more, like Samsung. And going back, we also have the layout of icons, so you can make them a little bit more or less crammed. You can change the size of them, and you will see that There we go. They're now significantly smaller. And moving on to the last thing that I wanted to show would be the gesture shortcuts. Now, there's, I guess, two different gestures. The shortcuts that I'm talking about are just kind of like button combinations or just presses that will enable you to launch some stuff, but I can also showcase the gesture navigation if you're interested in it. So for gesture navigation, all you need to do is go into the display, scroll all the way down to full screen display, and in here you have the full screen gestures. I can learn it or not, it's really up to you. If you know how to use them, just don't. And there we go. And when it comes down to actual gesture shortcuts, as they're called, you can find them in additional settings. And here you'll have gesture shortcuts right below the full screen gestures. And you have a couple different things that you can do. So we have launch Google Assistant by holding the power button for half a second. We have take a screenshot by pressing power key and volume down. Those things are already enabled. As you can see, both of them, even the 3-finger shortcut swipe. Now what isn't enabled is probably one of these two, just because they do interchange. So launch camera with a double press. So we have double press volume down. Okay, that's interesting. So you can choose if you want to use the double power button or double volume button, volume down precisely, which is nice because we also have this here for double pressing the power button specifically to launch flashlight. Something that I personally do like. So as an example, if I right now enable this and press this, you can see that it turns it on and off. And when it comes down to the, if I go back, there we go, to the camera, you can choose if you want to launch it with power button or volume down button. Now, because I have the flashlight enabled, if I try to turn on the power button, it will tell me to replace it with the torch instead. So I would be able to only use one of them, obviously. So in this case, I could enable the second one, which is the volume down double press, which will then launch camera. And it looks like the device needs to be first locked. And there we go. Oops. Fine, I'll agree. So there we go, you can see there's the camera. A quick way to launch it by pressing volume down. Most of the phones do have it set that when you double press power button, it launches camera, but here you can have something a little bit more usable or more functionalities to it by just swapping them, I guess. So anyway, with that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.